Hey peeps, welcome to the Say My Name series, the second installment, the highly requested relationship deck recommendations video. So many of you were really stoked to see what I would recommend for relationship readings, and I'm going to cover a series of subgenres within this video, so it's going to be a little bit longer than the career-focused deck reading video previous to this one in the series. Mercury is in retrograde in my sign, so please forgive how all over the place I am right now and very spacey. As far as communicating clearly, it's going to be a fun video for all of us to do together, but it's nice and rainy today. It's one of those days where I always feel like really creative in the spring when it's like rainy out, but it's not super cold, and you just feel like you want to have a cup of tea and write for hours and listen to some really great dark gloomcore music all day long. So I'm very excited to be sitting with you guys, sharing about this arena of reading. I do want to offer that it can be hard sometimes, you know, in our tarot work, we might, or our tarot and oracle work, we might want to really tend to focus more on spiritual things than those kind of more mundane arenas like relationships. But I do want to offer here that one of the biggest ways as souls in human form that we learn and evolve and grow on our path is through relationships, romantic as well as platonic. So I'm going to be speaking a little bit to platonic relationships here and there, but this is largely going to be focused for romantic partnerships and connections in our life. And I'll be speaking to different arenas, as I said, because, you know, there's so many different stages in relationships. And what I found over the years, it's been really fulfilling as a reader, is that getting to look at all of those various stages in partnership and relationships and connections is really, really beautiful and fulfilling in readings. You know, oftentimes it is about the beginning of a relationship, but there are also those times when we want to explore the deeper aspects of long-term relationships as well. So we're going to get to all of that in this video. I will say right up front that this is very tarot focused. I find that tarot gets right to the heart of the matter and is very clear. So there are a few oracle decks in here, but I have to be really honest with you that this is very career focused. And I tried to pull different tarot decks than the first installment in this series so that you can work with different decks. But if, as you were watching the career video, you found a deck resonated more for relationship arena in your life, please feel free to pull from that. So let's have a sip of tea together. And I'm going to start with, let's see. I'm going to start with the Aquarian Tarot. This might not seem like what you would think I would be working with as a reader when it comes to romantic partnership, but it is school vacation this week, so you will hear Vincent in the background, guys. But I do find that the Aquarian Tarot, this is the pocket-sized travel edition. So you may kind of be surprised that I've gone with the Aquarian Tarot here because it is straight up Rider-Waite-Smith. But I actually find when it comes to, and we're starting with the Tower here, I actually find when it comes to the, are they into me? Is there a potential for us to date or for this to go beyond dating? Rider-Waite-Smith true decks really give you that clarity right out the gate. There isn't any prevaricating. There's no, you know, adding a little sugar to the sting. The Aquarian Tarot will let you know very clearly, very truthfully, if there's viability to that person you just met, that you're really intrigued by, that you'd like to spend more time with, and are wondering if there's potential for a partnership here. This is also a great deck if you are polyamorous, because I do find that the honesty of this deck can speak to multiple relationships and how multiple people are interacting with each other in ethically non-monogamous connections. I will say again that this is a very honest deck, and so I would just be very aware when you turn to the Aquarian Tarot for clear insight into the viability or the possible longevity of a relationship, that the Aquarian Tarot is going to tell you the truth. I also really love that kind of Art Deco, like faded feel to the artwork. It's just enjoyable and it's beautiful to lay down in a spread. And so I find if you're already kind of in that romantic, like heart space, this deck is a really beautiful option for the eyes as well as the heart. So that is the Aquarian Tarot. Let's say that you are in a relationship. Let's say that you are in a dating space, and you want to understand like why both of you came together. So you're either in that space or you're anywhere in the experience of the relationship and connection with another person, or in friendship with another person. So this I will say romantic or platonic relationships. The Witch's Tarot, the majors only, is beautiful to look at the archetype and the myth that both of you are engaging in as you're connecting together. So whether it's a time of friction or a time of beauty or a time of hope or loss in regards to the romantic or platonic connection, the Witch's Tarot, the majors only edition, really lets you know the kind of big picture theme and lesson that you're both exploring and evolving in regards to on your paths, excuse me. So I really, really love this deck for that kind of big picture kind of crown to the reading. So I will often draw this as like the one card at the top of my reading that lets me know the main archetype, the main myth that the couple or the friends or the family members are currently engaging in. And I would say, in addition, if you're perhaps in an argument with someone, this can give you big picture clarity on, you know, why you're both having that friction in regards to understanding each other or an area of disagreement in your lives. So this is the Witch's Tarot, the majors only. This is not the full Witch's Tarot. This is the majors only edition by Burning Paper Hearts. And I highly recommend that for that type of arena in the connection. If you want to understand the past life story or stories between you and your partner, you and the person you're interested in, or you and the friend or family member that means a lot to you in your life, the Ritual Tarot by Tiera May is a great option. I really like to use this deck to connect with past life energy between two people, or if you're polyamorous, a group of people, right? I love how the artwork and the collage style in this deck really activates that kind of across time and space energy for me as a reader. And so if you are looking for past life understanding and awarenesses between you and another person, this is a really great deck to give that clarity. It's going to let you know what the thread is karmically that ties you and the other person across time and space and throughout various lives. This is especially effective if you have like a core wound or a core issue that keeps repeating in this dynamic. It will give you insight into the past life root of that and why you've both come together in this life to explore this at a deeper level together, to take it up a tick on that spiral of life through this incarnation together. It's very helpful if you're currently not talking to the person in question, or if you're experiencing a time of maybe taking a break or taking some space, or there's been a lot of friction in the dynamic. Looking at this past life dynamic, the karmic thread energy between you and another person can give you a lot of insight and to help heal the aspect of the issue that perhaps you're taking a little too personally that you'd like to be able to step out of. So this is going to give a lot of clarity around that. And it's also really beautiful. You can turn to the Ritual Tarot for past life understanding and karmic thread understanding, even if there isn't friction, just to understand what's drawn you and this person together through various soul evolutions and incarnations. So this is a really fun one to turn to for that past life karmic thread connection. Again, that's the Ritual Tarot by Tiera May. Okay, let's say that you are in a really romantic zone with your partner, or the person that you're interested in that you want to approach the cards for understanding and awareness with. As you guys know, I call this deck my boyfriend deck. This is the White Owl Mystic Arcana. I love this oracle deck. It's really great when you're in that romantic, dreamy, sweet space of just like loving everything about the other person, and you just want to like spend all your time with them, and you text each other all the time, and it's just so much fun. And it's like, what's your sign? That kind of phase in a relationship dynamic. This is a really great deck to explore that. Not only do you have all the astrological and planetary signs included in this deck, but it also has that dreamy, oracular feel. Again, kind of like faded Art Deco gorgeousness, collage style. It's really beautiful and fun just to gain some insight into that like sweet, romantic kind of fairy tale energy between you and the person that you're interested in or your partner. In addition, if you feel really connected to a friend in your life, maybe you've just met someone who's going to be your friend and you want to just kind of flesh out the kind of astrological and planetary connections between the two of you, this is a great deck to use for visualizing chart correlations. So that is the White Owl Mystic Arcana. Let's say that you want to understand the shadow work energy between you and another person. This could go along with kind of that Aquarian Tarot energy that we discussed earlier. The Oracle of Echoes, this is the 2nd edition. This is a really great, oh, that card's turned over. This is a really great deck for looking at kind of the wounds or the shadow aspect in regards to maybe how you respond to the person that you're in love with, or the person that you're trying to build trust and loyalty and a deep connection with. The Oracle of Echoes, the 2nd edition here, I love the 1st edition, but unfortunately my 1st edition ended up getting damaged. But this is by Anatorian, and this is a really beautiful deck for that kind of internal work, internal understanding, just really, really, really beautiful etheric imagery that gives you a chance to journal and to meditate and to sit with that energy so that you can reach a deeper understanding of your shadow motivations, or perhaps your partner's shadow motivations in regards to those kind of like vulnerable areas that we find to come up in partnership, which is a huge part of how our soul is learning and evolving, right? Especially if you're going to share a journey at an intimate level with another person. Of course, you're going to come up against those areas. And I think Oracle of Echoes is a very loving but honest deck to turn to when you want to understand that kind of arena within a relationship, partnership, or friendship. Okay. Next we have the Serpentfire Tarot. This is my sexy deck. So this is for those relationships and connections, or those times in relationship and connection when you feel empowered or you want to feel empowered and there's a lot of sexual energy and attraction between you and another individual. I love working with this deck for this. It's just got that like 70s vibe, right? It's so just sexy. This is just a sexy bitch. This deck is a sexy bitch. And so it's really fun to work with when you have all of that like Kundalini rising, really root and sacral chakra energy. Either if you're vibing on that for yourself and you want to bring that to the table in a partnership, maybe you want to recall that energy for you and your partner. Or I should say, or if you've newly met someone and that wand energy, that fire element energy is strong between the two of you and you just want to kind of explore that through the tarot, this is a really great deck to work with for that. So this is like my sexy hot deck. I mean, look, there's Elizabeth Taylor as Cleopatra. Does it get better than that? This is an indie deck. It is pricier. I think it's absolutely worth it. It's totally fucking gorgeous. It's really also a wonderful deck for sex magic if you want to bring that into your partnership or connection. I would really encourage you to work with Serpentfire Tarot for sex magic. It's a very lusty, sexy deck. And so if that's the arena you want to explore or bring back to life in a partnership, I strongly encourage and recommend the Serpentfire Tarot for that. Tarot of Vampyres. I love this deck. Well, this is my ride or die husband deck. I mean, let's get real. This is the deck of my life. We all know that. But I like this deck for relationship readings, especially around long-term partnerships and times of transition. This deck really gets to the very root and then fleshes out the dynamic between you and the other individual. It's also going to give you, from a divinatory level, I have found over the years, real clarity on timelines, or strongest potential or possibility in regards to a connection. So this is a good deck to look at when you're really serious about someone, and or you've been in long-term connection with someone and you want to look at what's currently happening in the evolution of the relationship. So I really look at this deck as like my serious relationship deck. You know, I tend to turn to this one more for that clarity in those longer term loyalty and trust built relationships. Whereas, say, Aquarian Tarot, I might turn to for a relationship that's just getting started, or where you're interested in someone and you want to know if they're interested in you as well. Three of Knives there, bottom of the deck. I mean, final pull, excuse me. So this is Tarot of Vampyres by Ian Daniels. I really strongly recommend that one for those type of relationships. Okay. I got to do it because this does come up in relationships. So let's be real. Deviant Moon Tarot. Do not work with this deck if you don't want to know the absolute motherfucking truth about a connection, relationship, friendship, experience with another person in your life. This deck's going to tell you the truth. So this is my deck for, is the relationship going to last? Are we breaking up? What's going to happen next in our relationship or partnership? What's incoming in regards to our connection? I go to the Deviant Moon Tarot because it's honest and it's real. It isn't going to sugarcoat anything. So please don't expect that you're going to walk out of time spent with this deck in regards to a relationship without the absolute honest fucking truth. I have to be like really just say, please approach this deck only when you're balanced enough to hear the truth. And that truth might be a no. That truth might be it's not going to work out. That truth might be y'all need to take a break. That truth might be you have to look at what you're bringing to the table in regards to the dysfunction and the dynamic. So this is like my really honest, straight up shot of tequila. We aren't no holds barred, absolute truth tarot deck in regards to relationship readings. And you know, sometimes we just got to hear the truth. It's nice to have someone pat your back, but at the end of the day, if it's time to call it, you need to know if it's time to call it, and you need to know the reasons behind it and the self-evaluation piece, which I think Deviant Moon Tarot brings the self-evaluation piece to the table legit. And I think it's important. It's an important thing to look at because ultimately you're coming from your embodied experience and your perspective. And what you take away from the relationship is what you are learning for yourself. And that deck really speaks to that. In alignment with Deviant Moon, shout out to the Fallen Angels Oracle here. This is another deck. It's going to tell you the truth. It's not going to sugarcoat it. It might sting a little bit, but it's really, really, I love this deck for like, give me the clarity, guys. Sometimes you got to go to the demons to get the truth. And this is going to tell you the truth. I really like this deck to clarify the, is he or she cheating on me? Has there been some form of betrayal in the dynamic? Is this relationship still viable in terms of trust? And how do we rebuild from an experience of betrayal, hurt, disloyalty, or abandonment in regards to a connection? The Fallen Angels Oracle is amazing for that. And like I said, it's going to be really honest with you, but it is absolutely gorgeous. In alignment with that, I have two more decks that are like shit kickers here. Because I gotta say, you guys know that I'm not about only telling sweet things in regards to relationship connections. The Tarot of Mystical Moments. Highly recommend this one for relationships. I do read with reversals, so I'm sorry you are going to see that some of the cards are reversed with this deck. This is another really honest deck. I think it's a little bit softer than Deviant Moon, and it lets you know where there's like a mystery or a puzzle in regards to the connection. I will not go to this deck if there's something mercurial about the connection, or if I can't wrap my head around for myself or another person what's going on in the relationship, because it tends to only add to my confusion. So it's not a deck when I have confusion. If you have confusion in a partnership and you want clarity, Deviant Moon, Tarot of Vampyres, Aquarian Tarot are going to get you there. This deck is more when you have clarity, but you want to see what's going to happen and like where the current energy is going to lead in any relationship dynamic, friend, romantic, family member, platonic, whatever. This is a really good deck for that. In addition, this does give you a little bit of that past life insight as well. And so I do use Tarot of the Mystical Moments a lot when it comes to relationship readings because I don't have the mystery or confusion if I'm reading for someone else. So I can pull this deck out a lot for relationship readings for others. When it comes to myself, I work with this one a little bit less because I need to have real clarity on my motivation when I approach the deck. In alignment with that, the Linestrider Tarot is actually, this deck is a relationship focused deck for me. It tends to really want to come out and play when I'm talking about relationship and partnership dynamics, either for myself or for a client. This deck, again, it's not going to make it look pretty. And it does tend to show, like I consider this kind of like a Three of Swords type of deck for me when it comes to love and romance, because it just lays it out. It gives you the facts. Again, it doesn't sugarcoat, but it does let you know how you can move forward within yourself, but also in regards to the connection. This is also a really good divinatory deck when it comes to relationships for me, as well as a reader. And I will say, sadly, at times for myself when it comes to personally in my life. But it is a really well-rounded kind of, I want to know the truth about a relationship or connection. This is a good deck to go to for those moments. So this is the Linestrider Tarot by, if I recall correctly, C.L.O. Thompson. All right. Two more. I don't want to make this too long, but I do have a lot of decks for this because, like I said, relationship readings come up a lot. Phantasma Tarot. This is a really romantic, sweet, loving deck. So if you want to, if you want to use this with the White Owl Mystic Arcana deck, more power to you. This is a very romantic, sweet, gentle deck. You can bring in a lot of spirit animal energy with this deck as well. And it's just soft and sweet and loving. And so if you're in that very vulnerable, gentle space with another person, this is a great deck to turn to understand that part of the dynamic with another person, and or how to get back to that place with another person. It's a really, really beautiful deck for that. So this is the Phantasma Tarot, and I really do recommend it for that loving, gentle, inspired space when it comes to romantic partnership. The final kind of subgenre I want to speak to here is empowerment when it comes to our self-worth in romantic dynamics and in friendships and partnerships. I think even in really healthy, beautiful, loving, wonderful relationships, we will sometimes have to find our voice again. Remember who we are, find our voice, come back to ourselves, kind of find ourselves and our unique energy within the dynamic. The next two decks I'm going to recommend together because I think that they carry the voice of the goddess and the sacred feminine in a really empowering way for us. And they can help us to find our voice, to find our truth, and to realign with our path when perhaps we feel like we've lost that in a relationship dynamic. Again, even if the relationship is lovely and beautiful, right? We can still have those times where we have to come back to, what is my voice? What's my truth? And how do I best take care of myself in regards to this dynamic or situation or anywhere else within that? And so for that, I have the pocket editions of the Kali Oracle and the Isis Oracle. Both of these decks are short and sweet because they have the affirmation, the blessing, the prayer on the back of the image. So it's very easy to carry with you. It's very easy to distill the wisdom of the card pull in a concise manner. And it's also very affirming and helps to build a sense of self-worth and connection to the spiritual realms for yourself. So it can help you find your voice, find a sense of empowerment, and come back to your truth, which only allows you to bring more to the table in regards to relationships. Incidentally, if you are single and you're looking to have a romantic connection come into your life, both of these decks are really great power decks to work with to help build up your sense of self-worth. So you're not coming from a disempowered, desperate space, which isn't a good look for anybody. And it doesn't tend to bring in the energy that you may really be desiring to couple with when it comes to romantic partnership and connection with another person. So that is the Kali Oracle Pocket Edition and the Isis Oracle Pocket Edition. Really quick overview. As you can see, there's a lot of decks here. It's a dense list because this is such a big arena when it comes to choosing to have your cards read for you. And I will say, relationships can be the area where it's trickiest for us to be really clear when it comes to what we bring to the table and what's actually going on in relationships. And again, that's because it's one of the biggest ways that we learn, evolve, and grow as souls. So I hope this list helps you when it comes to your own tarot work in regards to relationships. Don't be afraid to reach out to a trusted source to have your cards read for you if you're really in the weeds when it comes to your current partnership. That is an area that as a reader and as someone who has their cards read, I do feel very aware of knowing when it's time to let someone else pull for me in regards to relationship dynamics. But I hope you've enjoyed this list. It's been wonderful spending some time with you. As always, I am sending you much love and many blessings, and I'll see you in the next video.